is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. So glad you could join us. Again, a reminder, August 12th, we are moving to mornings, 9 a.m. to noon. You know, it is Thursday, and you know what that means, right? That means it's time to get a little TMZ action here with our guy, Mike Babcock from TMZ Sports. Mike, how you doing, my man?
Brian, JD, what's up, fellas?
Good to hear from you. So many things to get to in a short period of time, so let's get right to it. I know you guys caught up with Peyton Manning, obviously legend, one of the best quarterbacks of all time. Talking about being an NFL executive, first of all, did you see this coming, and what did he say about this?
Yeah, well, he didn't say no, and I think that's the piece of information, Brian, that people have latched onto since Peyton retired. There's been talk, will he broadcast? Will he join the front office? And like you said, caught up to him, asked him the question, and he said, "I enjoy being a fan," but he didn't say no. And he essentially said, "You never know." So he kept the door open to the possibility of Peyton Manning joining a front office.
Interesting. Okay, now I want to switch topics to baseball. I grew up a Red Sox fan, so you know the saying, Aaron effing Boone, right? I'm not an Aaron Boone fan, never was, never will.
Brian, I was at Game 7 in 2000.
Were you really? Oh,
I was.
I'm actually jealous. Wow. Yeah, I was watching on the TV, not very happy. But this is actually something that makes me happy. Aaron Boone swearing on a live mic at an umpire. Tell me about this.
Oh, man, it's our guys are bleeping savages. Yeah, first game of the doubleheader against the Rays, Aaron Boone lost his mind. What's funny is, if you ever listen to an Aaron Boone interview, he doesn't say too much. He never really gives you an answer with any meat to it, and he's just a quiet, like, reserved type of guy. But seeing him out there with the hot mic catching what he said was absolutely hysterical. And I thought it was funny because, because it was the first game of a doubleheader, he gets thrown out, but now he's right back out there. Right now, the Yankees are playing. It's late in the game, but he's right back out there interacting with the umpires. He didn't even get kind of a night to go to sleep and to let things cool off. He's right back out there with the umpires. But I thought it was a great rant, and I was happy that we got to hear what he actually said.
And sadly, I will take his defense, and I will say that the majority of managers do the exact same thing. So, it's not like he did something completely out of the ordinary. NFL's Josh Norman. Okay, now he's basically a hero in Spain, right, for jumping that bull. But my question to you is, what do management think? People that pay money for him to be an NFL player? I mean, you could actually die. If his timing was off there, who knows what could have happened? That's what I'm wondering. What the hell is he doing out there doing that stuff?
No idea. You're right. People have died, Brian. I mean, we've seen deaths before. There were a lot of people who were hospitalized, and they are every year. If you look at the video, he was so close. The bull, picks his head up and kind of lunges towards Josh at the last second. So it was close. But I know some people at the Redskins, and I asked them if he was in trouble, and they told me no. I don't know if it's because he didn't get hurt. So they likely had a private conversation with him where they told him, this is probably not a great idea. But, from what they said, they weren't really upset with him. And like he has now said, this guy is a hero in Spain because of his fearlessness, stupidness, I guess, depending how you look at it.
Yeah.
Mikey, let's talk about this Kawhi Leonard Nike lawsuit, countersuit. This is one of the quietest, most reserved, kind of intelligent guys who just constantly wins everywhere he goes, Kawhi Leonard. He's the last person you would think would get involved in suing Nike. What do you know about this, and where's this going?
No, absolutely. It was strange when you first heard and first saw that he filed a lawsuit. Obviously deals with the claw logo that he says he designed. And Nike is, clearly not just going to sit back and take this now, because now they've actually fired back in court. They say that this thing is very different. They claim they have a proof, and this is, these are all documents that they've laid out in this lawsuit now. So they're firing back. I imagine if Kawhi never would have filed the lawsuit, they would have just let things, let sleeping dogs lie. But because Kawhi has attacked them in court, now Nike has responded. So like you said, JD, now you have a guy who was a quiet, reserved dude who is now at war, with the biggest sneaker company in the world, which is kind of strange because he's not the guy that you would imagine would be in this kind of fight.
Exactly, and you would think that. I mean, if he's in a fight, he must have a case. He doesn't seem like the guy that's going to be about frivolous lawsuits, and he's signed with New Balance of all places, which is like
right.
the lawnmower shoe company. Every father the last 40 years has had their New Balances, in mowing the lawn. I got a question for you about college. So college football's coming up in about, we'll say, 4 weeks, 5 weeks? When's the season start? September 1st? 6 weeks away, roughly? There's a wager out there in Vegas that Alabama or Clemson wins a national championship, and I believe it's minus 160, yes, plus 150, no. Where would you go on that, and who would you say is your sleeper team this year to win it all?
Oh my gosh, I don't. So it's minus 160 for Bama, huh?
For Bama or Clemson, one of those two.
I was going to say, because if there has ever been a year where it's a toss-up, they just seem. I feel like, to me, Alabama's better than they were last year, and
I agree.
I love both quarterbacks. I mean, I would kill for either of those guys to quarterback my NFL team. Oh man, that's so tough. I guess if I had to choose, I would probably go Alabama, but it is such a toss-up. It's not something I've really even examined yet, but that is such a toss-up. What do you think, JD?
I think that Trevor Lawrence, as a freshman, had 5 touchdowns in the national championship game against what was a pretty good defense.
Incredible.
If he does that again, and for the next 3 years, he ends up the best college quarterback, if not the best college football player of all time. I mean, bottom line.
Really, you think he has that opportunity, that chance?
Yeah. If he wins a title, with Justin Ross and T. Higgins and the receivers they have on that team and Travis Etienne, they have the weapons to continue to just keep winning and winning. If he wins a title as a freshman, a sophomore, and a junior, then goes pro, since he can't go pro as a sophomore, and he gets 2 Heisman out of it, 1 Heisman. I mean, yeah, I think that if he wins 3 titles, 3 years, and he has a 70% completion percentage and maybe 10 total interceptions, he's the best college quarterback ever. I don't see that happening. I think that neither Bama or Clemson wins this year. I think Clemson's defense is decimated from the draft last year. I love Bama as a squad. I don't think Tua Tagovailoa handles pressure very well against every good defense, because he's 6'1", 220, but he's a lefty. And he's not overly tall. He just doesn't handle pressure very well. I kind of like LSU or Michigan this year to win the national title.
LSU or Michigan. My guy Van Lathan, who I work with, would be very happy to hear you say LSU. He's an LSU guy.
Mr.
Like Nebraska, Mizzou, potential sleepers.
In Nebraska, they're bringing back a really good quarterback. They've got a couple of offensive weapons, but not a ton. They actually have a really good defense. They're going to be solid at corner and D tackle. You're going to see a lot of their games go under. I don't know about national title sleepers, but Michigan, LSU. I mean, obviously Bama, Clemson, you have to consider those as well. But I went to the University of Iowa myself, and I'm a Midwestern guy.
Wow.
I could see Iowa doing a couple of things this year, but I kind of like Michigan and LSU to be the real sleepers this year.
Speaking of doing a couple things, before I let you go, we're joined by Mike Babcock, TMZ Sports. Now, you're on TV. You got a great job there in L.A. I always wanted to ask you this. What is a typical weekend for Mike Babcock, TMZ, Mr. Mike Babcock himself? What do you do in L.A. on the weekend?
I go out, but, I'm getting a little bit older now, guys, and I have a girlfriend, so...
Oh, that's terrible. I'm so sorry to hear that.
I know. A weekend for me, and not that it's the weekend right now, but I flew to Jersey for my mother's birthday, so I am driving on a street in New Jersey.
Oh, my God, that sounds
now.
Horrible. Oh, that sounds terrible. You have to go. Your mom's birthday. Oh, my God. Now hey, you sound like a good son. What part of Jersey, by the way?
It's like North Brunswick. It's right next to Rutgers. It's a couple miles from Rutgers.
Oh, God. Oh, boy. My condolences. My condolences. Now, hey, it's late out there. It's like 11 p.m. out there right now, right?
It is.
Wow.
It's 10:50, but I love you guys.
All right. Well, hey, listen.
Always down to talk.
Our listeners love you, too, and so do we. We always appreciate when you come on, Mike. Have a great weekend. Say hello to your mother for me. And all right. Thanks for
coming. You guys said happy birthday. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mike. All right,
thanks a lot, Mikey.
Mike Babcock, getting inside the mind of a TMZ superstar. What does Mike Babcock do on the weekends? Well, he sounds like a really good son. Harvey should give him a raise. That's what I think. I'm going to be honest with you guys right now. Well, wait a second. Why do I say that? What, I'm going to lie? I'm always honest on this show. Have I ever lied on this show before? Be honest. No, you be honest. You don't lie. Have I ever lied to the listeners before? I mean, I lie all the time, and I say Ken Thompson, coming up next, the legend. I mean, that's the only lie I ever say on the show.
Right. That's a pretty flagrant. That's a pretty flagrant fallacy, since he couldn't be further from that. But yeah, you lie quite a bit.
Wait, say that again?
I said that's a pretty flagrant fallacy since he couldn't be further from such a thing.
A flagrant fallacy. I've never heard anybody use that terminology before. I like it, man. I like it.
It's an F day.
I'm also going to be honest.
A lot of F's in my words.
I wanted to be honest and say it is literally, I'm not exaggerating, it is close to 100 degrees in the studio.
No, it
today.
is. I have never been this hot in this studio right now. I just tried to have a conversation about college football with Mike Babcock, and I forgot about half what I was going to say because my brain is just not processing.
I feel like to try to get me off my game, Steve Sanchez walked into the studio with like heaters in his crotch or something. I don't know what happened. I have never been 20 years in radio. I've never been in a studio literally at your swimming pool or your health spa. You walk into a sauna. That is the KDWN studio right now. Maybe they're trying to tell me I need to lose weight. I don't know. Maybe this is my way of sweating it out. I don't get it.
I usually drink 4 or 5 glasses of water. I take a couple of trips in between segments.
I haven't been able to do that.
I've had 1 glass of water today.
Well, I'm
fairly certain that I've lost a pound.
I'm not a doctor, but
sitting here in this seat.
I'm not a doctor, but I haven't urinated in a while. That means I'm dehydrated.
I think that's what it means.
Could I sue KDWN for that? Well, no, we're not going to do. Why would we do that? I'm sure everything's fine. I'm sure that maybe they thought it was in the middle of winter and it's like 30 degrees outside, and they said, "Hey guys, let's put it on 85 today." I'm thinking that's the only thing that's the only explanation I can think of.
And the craziest part is the door is wide open.
Do you know that feeling you get?
If we had a film crew in here with a guest with the door closed,
that'd be terrible.
I would pass out. There's not a doubt in my mind.
You would think that we had, a bunch of very attractive women in here, and that we wanted them just to take their clothes off because it's so damn hot in here. That would be, I don't know. We had Steve Sanchez in here. All due respect to Steve, I didn't want him to take his clothes off. That's not that's not the kind of thing that we wanted done.
He rolled up in a $60,000 black Cadillac CTS, and then he was adorned head to toe in black. So he was obviously hotter than both of us put together.
His IQ is about the same as the temperature in this room. I'm just going to go ahead and make that analogy right there. That's how it is really, really hot in here, folks. And I hope we get this taken care of. But hey, tomorrow on the show, this is going to be a lot of fun because tomorrow we got Herman Cain. That's going to be great. And if you haven't heard the big news, and it's why Steve Sanchez, well, one of the reasons why Steve came in, I thought it was a good spirited debate. I thought he got out of line a few times, and I had to put him in his place a little bit. Don't talk to me about how high your IQ is.
He started with I'm telling you, it was a turbo speed filibuster.
But it doesn't work with me.
He spoke. Yeah. He probably said 45 words in about 5 seconds, 6 or 7 times. You couldn't say a word. The first 10 minutes, there's no chance.
And this is me you're talking about.
Yeah, I agree, which is very, very rare. No chance me or anybody in the audience could understand a word of the first 10 minutes of the last segment.
Well, but you said he won the debate. I respectfully disagree with you. Every time he brought something up, he lost the argument.
Actually, I admitted my bias. I said it was 7-5.
Take your bias away. You still think he won that debate. I'm not going to be angry at you. You said yes.
I honestly don't remember the first 15 minutes because I could not understand it.
First of all, I got him on Twitter. I got him bad.
You
because
did. You did your research. You did your homework.
Well, he's a hypocrite. He, with all due respect, and he'll be able to defend himself when he comes back in. But he said that liberals, all they do is name call to win debates. He does the exact same thing. And he can't admit he's a hypocrite. Look, he's one of those guys where he's never going to admit on the air that he made a mistake or he's wrong about anything, similar to somebody else that's in the White House at Pennsylvania Avenue, similar to Donald Trump. Can't admit when he's wrong. Can't admit. Look, I make mistakes every day. I feel like I apologize to people every day. I've made mistakes on the air. I've been wrong about things. I was wrong about the 2016 elections, like many other people were. 90% of others were. They thought Hillary was going to win also. Look, I was wrong. I admit when I'm wrong. But there are certain people, and look, everybody's different, but there are certain people that cannot admit when they are wrong. Don't bring up how many Twitter follows you have with me in an argument. That does not impress me, okay? Paris Hilton is famous for doing what? For having sex on camera? Okay, she's got a gazillion followers. Same thing with Kim Kardashian. So that argument means absolutely nothing to me. Don't talk to me about that stuff.
And I really think that Kim Kardashian, she's actually trying to get her JD. She's trying to pass the bar exam in California. She's being a lot. She's moving toward doing some things to help other people. I think that she is going to take a run at some type of office in the next 5 to 6 years.
I really didn't want to bring that up and dive into Kim Kardashian stuff. That's fine. I hope she doesn't run for office because I think she's a nitwit.
No, she's going to, and she's probably going to win.
I hope she does.
Because anytime her or her family, when her and her family decide to post something on social media, about 1/10 of the world sees it. Of the world, Brian. Mm-hmm. That is insane.
That's a lot. But you can't also make the argument about how high your IQ is because some of the smartest people on the planet have done some of the dumbest things you could possibly think
of. It's a proven fact. If you say your IQ is high, you're smart. If you say you're rich, you're rich.
Right.
If you say you're tall, you're tall. If you say you're endowed, you're endowed. It's just proven.
Well, what do they say about people that are endowed? They're not endowed, right? What do they say about men who brag they're rich to women? They drive a red sports car and they have a small pee-pee. I mean, that's what they say. I'm not saying Steve's not a smart guy, but I'm just saying, do I consider myself fairly intelligent? Yes, but I never say that. Why would I say that? I just prove it with, having a conversation, whether it's on the air or off the air.
And research.
I just think that's really,
lots and lots of research.
I just think that's really weird when you talk about how many Twitter followers you have, and then you talk about what your IQ is. Who gives a crap? Who cares? We're having a debate on a political issue. What your IQ is or how many followers you have is completely academic to the conversation we're having.
If we have a conversation and you've got 10,000 followers and I have 200, automatically what you say matters more than what I say.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's just standard. Everybody understands that.
That's just utterly ridiculous.
That's basic.
Yeah, that's
2019. That's how things work. If you have a check mark next to your name, what you say matters more than what I say.
Yeah, that's just utterly ridiculous.
It's just been established.
Well, all right. Thank you for Mr. Steve Sanchez for coming on. We appreciate that. And it won't be the last time he comes on. He'll come on again, and I'm sure I'll come on his show. Tomorrow we have Herman Cain, so that's going to be a lot of fun as well. We'll talk about all the hot topics of the last few days politically with Herman Cain. Herman Cain's a smart guy, so we'll have him coming up. And a reminder again, our show moving 9 a.m. to noon. That is going to be starting on August 12th. We are really excited about that. We appreciate all those loyal listeners, even the ones that call in that say utterly redonkulous, racist things. We still appreciate you calling in and listening. Thank you. But anyway, we will take a 22-hour break. We will be back at you tomorrow. I did say I lied when I say this, but I'll try to be genuine and a straight face. The legend himself, Ken Thompson. No, we love Ken. He's coming up next. Stay tuned. Great gambling talk. You're listening to the Vegas Take. Catch you tomorrow, everybody.